Dr. VK Raju is an ophthalmologist who has been actively involved in a crusade to eliminate avoidable blindness in areas plagued by poverty. In this conversation with Lalit Kecha, he discusses what more needs to be done to provide healthcare facilities to the poor. This is an India Abroad video.
So, Dr. Raju, can you tell us the situation of eye diseases, eye healthness, and blindness in India since you have been working there for long?
Yes. Incredibly, wonderful things are happening, but still, as one Telugu poet said long ago, we don't keep on talking about what we achieved. What has to be achieved, if we concentrate, I think that's the way to go. Take various causes of blindness in India, in adults as well as children. Take a 70-year-old patient with a medical eye condition becomes blind, and their life expectancy is another 4 or 5 years. No, every person is important, we know very well. Whereas a treatable cause, if we did not reach the child in the first few weeks or months of life, when they become permanently blind, they are living like that for the next 75 years. This is what we call in ophthalmology blind ears. Blind ears. In a child, he is living for another 70 plus years as a blind person. Whereas in adult blindness, most of the blindness is all still in old age. But let's say something not happened. But still, he lost about 3, 4, 5 years. But children should not be neglected. I'm not saying that they're neglecting, but in 65% of India still lives in rural and semi-rural areas.
What should the government do, both in the state level and the federal level, to address this challenge?
Government is doing a lot of things, but still, I feel after living in United States for 40 years, went to more than 31 countries, I think the private groups, the ophthalmologists, the Rotarians, Lions Clubs, there are so many other organizations. I think they should keep on doing, they're doing it, but they can multiply what they're doing if we are really seriously interested to reach them. Outreach programs. We can't be dependent on government. Government has a lot of other things to do. So I think like United States, I always tell them when they talk about government, in this country, except the defense, inland revenue, postal service, nothing is done by the government. There's a National Eye Institute is there, FDA, there are so many organizations are there. They do some wonderful work, but especially India, if the private sector is truly serious, as I mentioned in my talk, not we hope, not we promise, then what was the third one? Promise, hope, and something else I don't, but we must think about will. This is what Nani Palkiwala said in his book of when he was an ambassador in the United States, he was collecting the material, he said, Indians should say, we will, I will, rather than hope, wish, or wish. We wish, we hope, we promise. I don't think it doesn't work. It is.
You also do a lot of work, charity work in India.
Yes, this is
you're
all.
building a hospital.
Absolutely. There's a lot of my surgeries and all that is all goes to. I'm very glad that I'm leaving it there because there is no other culture that said you come with nothing, you go with nothing. It is from Hindu thought that is said you come with nothing, you go with nothing. So in spite of that, how do we keep on accumulating the wealth? So by getting rid of that, my wife and I, we feel very glad to do that.
There are large number of Indian American doctors in this country.
Yes.
And they have association called RP.
Yes.
They every year have annual convention this year having in Philadelphia. But my question to you is, how come, in what way Indian American doctors can help people in India
Yeah.
to be healthy and well-being?
They are doing some, but they can do 10 times what we are doing. I
Like
think
what?
that takes a little determination and okay, not just the summit we do every year, that conference, API summit, and it invite a lot of Delvin politicians and others, and that's good. We are getting awareness and all that, but I think we all can do together. Just like this Eye Foundation of America, if they would like to support the eye clinics through API, our team is ready to do it anywhere in India. We have that kind of infrastructure today. In general, I don't want to be critical, but the observation is we always have wonderful ideas, wonderful things, and we'll do it. But when it comes to doing, only a fraction is done. Sometimes, even other organizations in India, if they're truly determined, to me, there is no country like India.
So not enough has been done by Indian American
Absolutely.
doctors.
What we can do, what is our potential. The same thing I'll talk about India too. The potential we have. Take, for example, children. Well, I'll put it, since 47 after independence, Indian government and other have done incredible. Like Nani Palkiwala said again long ago, these are all islands of excellence we have. But if you take overall the country, we need to do a lot and lot of it. He said, when we think about our potential, what we can do, what we have done is very small, and he always felt, even during those times, how could we keep such a rich country poor? We all left I went to London to United States. We all went with the $8 exchange. And he gives example of factories run by government compared with those factories, manufacturing factories in this country. And he tells in that book, I am summarizing, and the other, like Sarojit are helping some editors there. If we bring that book into modern country, it is already contemporary what he wrote. But if we just say, yes, this is the way we should do it, not 5 years, the face of India will be changed in 1 year. That is the potential of India. That's my personal belief. And I think after 200 times going to India, it can be done. Only one thing has to change, like Nani Palkibala said, mindset.
Wonderful. One last question. During COVID, Prime Minister Modi came out with a lot of social welfare measures for the health sector of India. He's investing more, putting more money into the health sector. Health insurance is there, universal health care kind of stays there. How do you see that development?
There is no question. In India, with 1.3 or 1.4 billion people, some of the things the government does it are phenomenal. But we should not stop there. If you think the work that has to be done, then that is the real mindset we should have. Again, I'll repeat this one. 65% of India is still in rural areas. East Godavari district, where our base hospital is there, if you go to the villages, still, we are far from what we can achieve and what the village still looks like, about the schools and education. I always feel, the other thing I want to express here, Indian government or the private organization should work on only two things. Give these children education, give these children health, and their entrepreneurs themselves, their innovators. You don't need to have a charity. That's how I think about Indians. Give them education. Oh, aren't we doing? People will say, it's not enough. This should be done as we do with temples, religious ceremonies, yagas, in the same pattern, which is wonderful. We all keep our wonderful culture. The other things do at same level. If we do, India needs even 5 years. That is the potential of average Indian.
Wonderful.
400 million of them below 24.
About your charitable work that you do in India.
Yeah.
You have one hospital, multiple works.
We
give
have
us
a big eye hospital with about 18 peripheral centers. Then we go especially outside Delhi, even in Delhi, old Delhi, there are a lot of problems with the children. I think we should catch children, and not a single child should not be missed in this. In the United States, I learned one thing. For example, with the modern technology and modern resources, if we can reach that child and we could not, we say one is too many. If we think one is too many, then we think we don't worry about, don't keep on talking about, oh, we did this, we did this. I think we can say simple first about half a minute and say the 9.5 minutes with what needs to be done. I don't know whether I to say or not, but it comes from my heart. When I see in Gandhi Ashram, we were there last month, couple of months ago, in Sabarmati Ashram, because we are publishing a book written by a brilliant psychologist and neurologist from England, and I'll tell you more. I think people will hear more about that. We went to Gandhi Ashram. It is maintained beautifully. The water, that river, the banks are everything tight, clean, and all that. But you see, 10-year-old girl, instead of being in the school, she's selling those things. Even worse, time and again we see some of these girls are begging. For me, one is too many.
Great.
If we think that way, change in India, nothing, there's no other country like India, what Indians can do.